How's it going on, guys? James Slattery here. Where are we? Stoke-on-Trent. Famous for a couple of things. Everybody calls each other Duck and the Potteries, of course. Today we're doing a little report on our local MP. As far as I know, he has stood down, Tristram Hunt, but there's a bigger man and a better man stepping up to the game, and his name is Paul Nuttall. Do you reckon we should go in there and ask a couple of questions and find out a little bit more about him? Because I know nothing about him, but some people say he's public enemy #1.
Many. You can't get in the queues because...
Too many what?
Packies. Ah.
Is that what the problem is with this country?
This country is full of fucking packies, and do you know what they all are? Fucking cherries. And fuck them all off back, bastards. Hey.
Wow.
Let's not that bit strong.
It is a bit. So what are we doing outside here? Did you just come out of this building?
No, I'm just about to go in there, mate. That's what I'm going to do.
What are you going in there for?
Oh, I've got some information, just a bit of a chat, a bit of information. Have a look around and that's about it.
I take it you're voting for Mr. Paul Nuttall?
Correct.
Why?
Why? Who else is there to vote for besides them or Labour? Tories are no use. They don't exist as far as I'm concerned. Lib Dems. So that's about it. What's what we're left with?
But I asked a few people in town and they said there's not too many good things to say about Mr. Nuttall.
That's his mate. That's his might be, but he's about the best of a bad lot, isn't he? Get us out of Europe. Control immigration. No, not control it. Stop it. There's too many here already.
Immigrants, why?
Why? Take a look around you. The place is full of them.
Do they not contribute to a lot of the tax?
I'm not suggesting some of them do that, but I'm not suggesting all of them do, but there's a hell of a lot of them that don't work. Nothing but, in my eyes, parasites.
Liverpool Mayor Joe Anderson, he has asked Paul Nuttall to do a public apology about a couple of things that ran on his website for a while. He said his father and two of his uncles witnessed the Hillsborough disaster and he witnessed someone die close to him.
He never said that. Apparently, from what I can gather, his secretary did, not him.
Okay, yeah, she had to stand down, didn't she?
Well, that's it. How can you blame that guy for somebody else, he said? You can't.
But why was it on their website for so long before it had to come down?
I've no idea. I can't answer that, mate.
Do you reckon he'll apologise to the mayor?
Why should he? He's done nothing wrong. He's not at fault. His secretary was at fault, not Mr. Nuttall. Why should he apologise?
I really appreciate you being completely honest with us. So, last couple of words. In a nutshell, what's your opinion on immigration and foreigners in this country?
Too many. Door up, start carting them off while they're already here. If they're not working, get rid of them. Dead simple. We've enough of his own problems.
Foreigners out.
Foreigners out. If they're not working, get rid of them. They're leeches. Simple as that. And I don't mean anything nasty to them. If they're not going to go, put them on a plane to the shit and get rid of them.
Thank you for your honesty. So, who's the local MP around here, mate? No idea.
Local MP?
Yeah.
Don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Oh, Jesus. What are we going to do? Let's ask these busy working ladies. Who is the local MP for Stoke-on-Trent?
No idea.
Haven't got an idea.
You don't know?
No.
So you don't know who's running this SHIT?
No, we don't know.
Oh, wow.
And I've worked here and I don't know.
Well, his name is Tristram Hunt, but he's stepping down.
Yeah.
And there's a guy called Paul Nuttall who's taking his place. Do you know anything about him?
No, we've read a lot. Well, I work for the Stagwell, so I should know, because...
Oh, you've read about him?
Yeah, he's always in here every day.
Tell me something about him.
I don't like, put it this way, we don't like him, so...
Oh, wow.
So, and death threats, he's had eggs thrown at him. He has everything in Hanley every day.
What has he done? What has he done wrong?
I don't know. It's just that people don't like him in Stoke-on-Trent.
Don't know, do we?
No.
I'm from Southern Ireland. I'm part of Europe.
Yeah.
If they want all the migrants to go back, does that not mean I have to go back? And if so, how the hell am I going to explain that to my kids?
With great difficulty. And yes, I guess that means if they want all the migrants out, you would have to go back, which is, I don't agree with that at all. I voted to stay in. You know, I've worked with plenty of people from across Europe. I've worked with the Polish, the Slovakians, the Czech, and with plenty of people, not had a problem with any of them at all. You know, it would be a shame to see all these people just get kicked out of the country.
Right, if they want all the migrants and immigrants out of this country, what are we going to do if they want all the expats out of their country?
Well, to keep it fair, they'd have to come back here, wouldn't they? If that's the way it's going to go, then we can't complain if they decide to kick us out of their countries.
So tell me about UKIP.
Well, you see, we want to get out of the European Union.
Okay.
That's my only, thing about UKIP.
Why do you want to get out of the EU?
To get out because we send not billions, like they mention, but trillions. It's trillions. We don't even know how much. It's that bad. And then they send, well, I'll just give you a wee instance. They say that we send £1,000 over there. I'm doing it at my easy view.
Yeah.
And they give us £50 back because that's exactly what's happening. And then they say, we're giving you money. We gave you £50. We have to send trillions to get, I don't know if you meant this word in Ireland, the dross. The small change. And that's what we get. Well, why bother sending anything so that we can get a wee bitty back? We can keep it and look after ourselves.
Do you know Tristram Hunt?
I don't know him, no.
He's the local MP, but he's standing down and...
I have that, that's right, aye.
He's standing down, you know.
He did stand down, didn't he?
Yeah.
So...
Paul Nuttall is standing up to the...
he's the... That's right, aye. Yeah.
Do you know anything about him?
Only that he's Paul Nuttall.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know. And only that he's the... You see, we come every time... We come from the far north of Scotland. Every time there's a by-election, we go all over England. You know, because it's my party. Like you would if you were supporting your party.
All I know about Paul Nuttall is he's ex-professional football player.
Is that right?
That's what he said on his website anyways.
All right. I know that he's a very nice man.
Oh, wow.
You know, he's a very real nice man. And to me, he was brought up on a housing estate.
Really? So,
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got the personal touch with the people.
Yeah, and I think he's got excellent qualifications, better than any MP or politician that I know.
Wow.
Because he was brought up on a housing estate. He knows what the people fear.
Yeah, so he kind of knows exactly what it's like to struggle and stuff.
Yes,
Wow,
exactly.
so he could be a good guy for the people.
An absolute great man.
Thank you so much.
What's your name?
James.
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 You've got a lovely name.
Thank you.
Anyway, can I shake hands?
Of course you can. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Have a nice day. And thank you so much for that interview.
Right.
You've got a good strong shake, by the way.
Every day of your life.
Can I have my handbag? Here we are with Jay and Tom. Boys, what do you know about UKIP? Educate me on their policies.
I think there'll be a fresh face after about over 50 years of Labour. I guess right-wing populism is probably the best way to describe them. Rather than an establishment party who is quite disillusioned from the working class.
But what about their policies? They're quite scary. I read some of their notices up there. They're educating people on UKIP today, and a lot of it's all about anti-immigration, and they want loads of people out. Why?
I think it's more about illegal immigration and the segregation of multiculturalism rather than actually anti-immigration in itself as a whole. Instead, it's about being able to control immigration, because immigrants contribute to the economy a lot, but it's more about managing the amount that come in rather than unelected officials in Brussels doing it, which Labour have been advocating for the past 60, 70 years.
But why regulate and why actually have borders in the first place? Are we not, as human beings, do we not have a right to wander around this planet?
No, it's it's a completely good point, but I think in an ideal world that would work. Not having borders in an ideal world with no national security where everyone just gets on perfectly, it'd be fine, but you know, this is the real world, and I think security is important, and controlling the economy is also important at the end of the day.
Why security? What are we afraid of?
I guess the rise of Islamic extremism, but mostly you've just got to be careful who's coming into the country. It's just about the safety of the people that live here and the safety of immigrants that are also going to come in. You want to make sure everyone's safe.
Are you scared?
I don't know if I'll be scared if we completely open up borders, but right now I'm not really scared. I don't think Stoke's much of a terrorism risk really compared to places like Berlin and London, of course, capitals, very populated cities.
What do you think of Paul Nuttall? He's standing up to the job. What do you think of him?
I think he's a good guy. I prefer Nigel Farage as a person because I think I know him better. I think everyone does. But yeah.
Nigel Farage, he's that guy that enjoys a pint.
Yeah, he is. Not really much difference at all between Nigel Farage and Paul Nuttall, though, to be honest. They're pretty much identical, I'd say.
What's Farage's relationship with Donald Trump?
Well, Farage does say he'll never endorse any foreign politicians, but he does make it quite clear when it comes to populism and fighting the establishment that Donald Trump is the man for the job.
Wow. What are you saying?
What do I think about UKIP?
Yeah, give me your understanding of UKIP and their policies.
I think they're quite misunderstood, and a lot of people think they're quite a racist party, where I think they do. I think their policies do incite racism amongst certain people, but I don't think they themselves stand for racism.
Well, this is interesting. You guys are two friends, and you are both different sides of the... Wow.
And then I also think Paul Nuttall is quite sketchy in the way that he lied about where he lives.
What did he... Oh, so electoral fraud.
Yeah, basically.
Should he go to prison?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
I think they've been melodramatic sent into prison over that, but he is lying though.
What else did he lie about?
He lied about his friend, a close friend dying in the Hillsborough disaster.
Oh, is that when he was there with his dad and his two uncles and he witnessed his friend dying at the Hillsborough when he wasn't even there?
Yes, but
That's
bit
bad.
sketchy, yeah.
Well, that's not the full story, though.
Okay, tell me the full story.
It's more to do with his website writer more than anything. Because
She wasn't a scapegoat?
No, he did know someone who died at Hillsborough, but then the website writer said it was a close friend, and then Paul Nuttall did say on the spot it wasn't a close friend, he just knew them.
He also said he had a PhD.
I've never heard that, but he has studied at 3 different universities, so I'm assuming he could have a PhD, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
He doesn't, but he said he did.
I don't care, really. I'm not going to lie.
Well, from what I've seen, he's lied on 3 or 4 different occasions. How can we trust him?
Well, I need the examples of when he's lied for a real answer.
Hillsborough disaster, and a PhD. And he was a professional football player.
Well, the professional football player, never heard of that. Hillsborough thing, already covered, I guess. PhD, I don't know, I'm not fussed about that. And what was it, moving into his house, you said? That's not illegal, that's mainly for security. I guess post-Joe Cox era, you can't really blame someone for wanting to keep secure.
How do we make, as UKIP say, England better or Britain better?
How do we do that?
Because that's what they claim they're going to do, that they're going to make Britain great again. How?
You vote for the right people, don't you?
Okay.
I mean, you can't just sum it up in one sentence how you're going to do that. I think there's many different ways of doing that.
Well, give me one good example.
One good example, I would say abolish a first past the post system, something that was voted against doing in 2011 referendum because of establishment parties, and I think an alternative voting system would be the best way for a completely equal democratic society.
Anyways, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Freezing me bollocks off down here in Stoke-on-Trent, and the manager of Gala came out and asked me to fuck off, and I said only if you answer a few questions. I interviewed a lot of people in Stoke-on-Trent today about the UKIP policies and stuff, and the reaction and the vibe I felt was a lot of people are blaming immigrants and migrants. What do you reckon?
Well, I think if you look at the actual perception compared to what the reality is, I think something like 90% of the population in Stoke-on-Trent is actually indigenous population. The immigrant population in Stoke-on-Trent is much lower than a lot of other English and British cities, for example, compared to particularly Manchester, Reading and other cities. So I think it's just a perception that people have of the local area, which isn't as bad as They see it a lot worse than it actually is,
So
if it's a problem at all.
So it's possible the foreigners and the migrants are not the problem.
I don't think it's a particular problem here. I think it's just a perception people have.
And how do we get past that perception, and how do we educate our minds?
I don't know. I think it's quite a strange. I think people have got a view in their own mind about immigration, and I think it's a major factor in the Brexit vote. People have this perception, whereas England and Britain has always been a country which has always welcomed immigration, and I think it's unfortunate that people have quite a blinkered view on immigration, that it's a bad thing, and it's not necessarily a bad thing.